This video is to talk about activity 5, which is called borrowing money. There are 2 volunteer folders, as we're hoping to have 2 adult volunteers at each station, as well as one that has student materials. So in the volunteer folder, you will find a full set of activities, as well as an understanding amortization table. Those are this table, this worksheet is what will be used to answer the questions. So, instructions to you as the volunteer. This activity introduces students to borrowing money and how interest and principal is assessed on the loan. Students will go through a scenario of borrowing money and work through an amortization schedule to better understand how borrowing money works for both the borrower and the lender. And so, although I haven't read through the rest of this, let's make sure that students understand that borrowing money can be credit cards, it can be a mortgage, it can be a car loan. There are lots of other ways that this looks when you borrow money. Here are the instructions to students. Why do you think people borrow money? And they'll say buy a house, a car, a boat, education, etc. Today, we are going to learn a few important components of borrowing money. To begin, we'll go over the following concepts and definitions. And so on your volunteer sheet, those are borrowers, lenders, principal, interest, and an amortization schedule. You'll tell them what those things mean. And in the student folder, it tells you to hand out understanding amortization worksheet to each student and read them the scenario. Right, so that's this document. The scenario: Janet graduated from college in December of 2020. He has a job she's scheduled to begin in 3 months and has decided to treat herself to 6 weeks of travel across South America before she buckles down and starts working full time. To do the trip, she's thinking of applying for a personal loan of $3,500. And the bank she uses for her checking and savings account has offered her an interest rate of 24%. He has a goal of paying off the trip within 2 years. So she uses a loan calculator and gets the following amortization schedule. You're going to help them answer the questions in their other worksheet, which is called Part 1 Amortization Basics. So, for example, the first question is, how much is Janet going to pay every month? And you would look at the amortization schedule. You have a cheat sheet that gives you the answer, but you should be able to figure out that the payment is $185.05. The second question, on January 1st, 2021, how much of Janet's payment goes towards interest and how much towards principal? All right. So you're working with the students and their families as a group. You're leading them through the questions that are on the sheet using the amortization schedule, and you do have a cheat sheet with the answers on it to relieve some of the anxiety about working on this. Then at the bottom, there are 2 discussion questions. What advice would you give Janet as she tries to decide how to structure this loan to finance her trip to South America? And if a friend who never heard of amortization before asks you to explain how loan payments work, what would you say? So those are things that you can discuss with the families should time allow. And then, of course, you will give the students a sticker on their sport before they leave your table.